Hola Seekers, mi nombre es Kim and bienvenidos to A Pick a Card. So before I begin explaining what this reading is about, I would like to announce I will be giving a free personal reading. This is a one-question reading and it is the Alchemist option. All the information of what this option pertains will be placed here in the video. So if you would like to participate, all you need to do is comment down below what is one quality you love about yourself. Also, if you can like this video or subscribe to this channel, that would be great. But of course, that is only if you are called to do so. Also, I would very much appreciate it if by any chance the message does not resonate with you, but you know of someone who might, please do not hesitate to share the video with them. Sometimes we bump into messages that do not resonate with us, because they are meant for someone that we know who is currently in our lives. And that is how Spirit works with us and through us, by allowing us to become messengers ourselves. So the portal of this will be open from October 21st till October 25th, when I will be posting a new video announcing the winner. Okay, so now that I've said my little announcement, let's get into this reading. So in this reading, we will receive 3 different messages from our heart. So the first message will be a direct message from our heart space. The second will be a message from someone who is connected to us through the heart space. And the third, we will be finding out what is it that we are currently manifesting in terms of our heart's desires. In other words, what is our heart currently attracting at this moment? So to do this reading, we will of course look at tarot and oracle cards. And we'll also use some keywords, some stars containing letters, numbers, and astrological signs if necessary. And for each group, we will pull out a note containing a specific message. Okay? So we have 3 groups to choose from. The first group is a combination of the moon with this green calcite. The second group is wisdom with this green jade. And the third group is a combination of hold with this crystal that I do not know the name of. I'm so sorry. Whatever combination calls out to you, then that will be your group. And the timestamp for each group is provided in the comments section down below. Okay, now that you've chosen your group, let's jump into your reading. Hello Seekers who chose group 1. So the card we are currently looking at, I will be using to intuitively connect with the energy of this group. And the message I received just by looking at this image is, it is time to dive into the waters of your mind and find the depths of your heart. So I'm seeing this need to connect the mind with the heart space. Possibly you've been spending a lot of time in your head space, overthinking, or just accepting every thought that comes into your mind. And when we accept is when we start labeling ourselves according to the thoughts that pop up. It's like when you're in the computer and a pop-up comes up and you actually click on it and you start reading the information. That's kind of it. It's like interacting and actually attaching yourself to what is coming up in your stream of consciousness. And the message here is, your thoughts do not define you. And to know this, there is a need to connect with your heart space, because your heart, when you're truly connected with your heart energy, it will never lie to you, because in our heart we hold the truth. Because I always see it as the seat of our spirit, the seat of our soul, and that is your truest essence. Because I'm looking at this moon and for some reason it's reminding me of a head, so I'm seeing this as representing the mind, and I'm seeing this reflection as representing the heart. It feels like you kind of drowned the heart. You've muted it in some way. It's talking to you, but you can't hear it. It feels like it's like far off, as something, you know, like when we're underwater and we hear the surface and it feels muffled or muted. That's how the voice of your heart is coming through. And so it is time to start connecting with your heart space and finding that connection between your mind and your heart. So I feel like if there is something you are questioning about and you're obsessively thinking and asking over and over to receive confirmation, validation, or some form of answer, take the time to sit down and ask this question in your mind or out loud, whatever it is that you're doubting, and see what comes through. So think of whatever thought you've been obsessing about, and then not only listen or pay attention to your mind, but pay attention to your heart space. How does your heart react? Does your heart space or your chest feel more constricted, or does it feel more open? Do you feel more anxious, or do you feel more relaxed? That will give a lot away to you. So it's paying mind to both of them, using both the mind and the heart to find your answers. Because the moon also represents the subconscious. It's looking at your fears, looking at your truest nature and desires, but not using any judgment. It's simply observing. And through this observation, we are able to find truth. We are able to find clarity. Because what we believe is hidden from us is actually there in plain sight. It is only perceived as hidden because we ourselves maybe fear looking at it face to face, or we just do not want to acknowledge it. It's something that just we don't want to accept as our truth. Again, because maybe of some fear or of some misjudgment. So it is time now to be real with yourself. And it is especially through stillness and observation. Because when you're just still and observing, you're not judging. Right? You're not judging and you're not hurrying along trying to get to the point. You're able to see everything play out for you. And so you are able to see all of the details. And through all of the details, you're able to see the bigger picture, right? So it's not completely discarding the mind and just paying attention to your heart, but it's finding balance in both the mind, your logic, and also the heart to make more coherent and intelligent, but also soul-based decisions. Okay, so that's the energy I'm picking up here. So now we will look at a message directly from your heart space. We have balance here, which is very reminiscent of this moon, of like reflection energy. So the balance speaks of oneness. This is the Temperance card in the Rider-Waite's Tarot. We have two serpents being represented here. One represents masculine energy and the other represents feminine energy. Now the moon is associated with feminine energy, which is all about nurturing, intuition, about emotions and feeling, and also about receptivity. The masculine energy is more about action and movement, about this physical 3D, bringing things into this physical 3D. I'm seeing it also more about the logic, the mind. So we have again these two energies of the heart and the mind intertwining on this tree, which I'm seeing as representing the universe, cosmos. And I'm also seeing this as representing a form of antenna. So it's like when you allow your heart and your mind to connect, when you listen to both of those, then you are able to connect to spirit, to the universe, and you are able to receive all the information that it seems at this moment you are so desperately looking to find. It's you already have the answer. You already have the form of connection, but it's only tuning into that channel like a radio, or allowing yourself to bring yourself into a space where you can find that connection. And this space exists where your mind is connected to your heart. Again, for some of you, you might be spending a lot of time in your head. You might be spending a lot of time just listening to your thoughts. And sometimes that may be negative thinking, right? Or sometimes that may be scenarios that might play in the future, or that might be thinking about the past. And that truly keeps you away from the present moment, because I am seeing grounding energy here, which is all about being present. It's like having another lens that doesn't allow you to see what is right in front of you. That's what not being present in the moment is like. So sometimes we miss out on a lot because we are more busy in our heads. And so the message here is know that we cannot stop the thoughts from coming in. But we can choose whether we entertain them, whether we pay attention to them, or whether we just let them be. And the way we can do this, the way we can just let these thoughts be, is if we anchor ourselves in our hearts. Seeing this as anchoring as well, as grounding and anchoring. It's like know thyself. Know who you truly are. Feel into your thoughts. And if there is a discrepancy between your emotions, your feelings, how you feel towards a thought that you have, know that that thought is not a truth. But if the thought and the feelings, there is a sort of balance, there's this kind of embrace, know that you are heading towards your truth. It might not be your exact truth, but you are heading towards that truth. So it is important to listen to both your heart, your feelings, your emotions, also just like your spirit and your soul, as well as using that mind for logic, finding a balance. Well, let me pull out one keyword for you guys. Okay, that's it. Yeah, we have union. Perfect. Yes, union is speaking about merging both of those energies to find oneness. Also to get to know more about yourself, because I feel like most of you might be judging yourself a lot based on the thoughts that come to your mind. Sometimes we may think horrible things or petty things, and then we think we're a horrible person. Or sometimes we may feel very petty or what we label as horrible emotions such as jealousy or envy or anger. And then we label ourselves according to that, or we feel shame or we feel guilt. But remember, these are just feelings and emotions, and these are just thoughts. They do not define you. And so if you're a person who gets overwhelmed by your emotions, right, and you kind of lose your mind in that, like your emotions are what comes to the forefront, then it's asking you pull back a little and listen to your mind, because your mind is speaking. It's there in the background to tell you, hey, your logic mind is there to tell you, hey, everything is all right. You are okay. We're okay. All will be well. And then listen to those thoughts, especially if there are thoughts that help anchor you and ground you in the present moment. Or vice versa, if you want to listen more to your mind, to your head, to maybe negative thoughts, negative self-thinking, and you leave your heart in the background. Know that your heart is always speaking to you. It is only when we tune into it, when we start listening more to it, then we start hearing it clear. So again, if you have a thought, right, pay mind to your heart. See how you feel about that thought. See if it does resonate with you. See if it brings more anxiety, if it brings more fear, if it brings discomfort. That will tell you a lot whether this thought that you're having is of you, it's from you, and if it is true. So having those work together will be very, very helpful to you. It will bring union, balance, and a sense of peace. It's not defeating one or defeating the other, because that would only create more battle or more war within the self. Because remember, you need both of them, because it allows for balance to occur, right? More than defeating one, it's allowing both of them to coexist and not giving one a speaker and muting the other one, okay? So that's what we have here. So the next card is a message that is coming from someone, directly from someone who is connected with you through the heart space. Okay? So this is the Page of Bows. So the Page of Bows is the Page of Wands in the traditional tarot, or in the Rider-Waite's tarot. So the message I heard is, maybe I'm being too hesitant, and I am feeling hesitance coming through. The Page of Bows is fire energy, and that's usually action-orientated energy. The page is a character that is one here one moment and then gone the next. But this page here, he seems hesitant to take a leap of faith, to jump into this, because I'm seeing this waterfall, and again I'm getting this message of diving, and we do have this Stout here who's standing just at the edge of this, what is it, a cliff? And he's looking down. But it feels like the fall of this waterfall, it's a long one. And even the Stout cannot see where it ends, cannot see what's at the bottom of this waterfall. And so there's this hesitance. I'm getting this message of this being in terms of a relationship, the significant other who is connected to you through the heart space. They are being pulled. They leave, but then the moment that they turn away, they have to turn back. Something pulls them back to you, or back to this connection, back to this relationship. Because it's like I'm seeing this waterfall as representing you or the connection. And there's something so entrancing, so bewitching about this. And they just can't seem to figure out what it is. And so they just wonder, maybe there is something at the end of this waterfall. And I'm seeing, like, as the waters fall, it's like the projection of your relationship. It's the commitment. But they're so hesitant about committing. They may be someone who doesn't like commitment. I'm actually getting this feeling like there is a connection, but you both don't know each other that well. It doesn't even feel like you've barely met. It just feels like you haven't gotten to know each other that much. And so for the stout, or for this other person, it kind of trips them out how they're so magnetized towards you. Or how they're so, it's an attraction, but it's more like a pull towards you, and they just can't seem to understand how they can be so gravitated towards you if they don't even know you that well. It's like someone that you might see daily on the job or something like that, and they're so intrigued, like you're so intrigued by that someone, but you haven't even spoken to them that well. You just know their name, you even know like when their birthday is, but you just haven't spoken, you just haven't had a deep conversation with this person. And so like they're hesitant of like either going towards you, going up to you, talking to you, getting to know you, asking you on a date, or simply just committing. Something keeps them back. And I feel it's simply like this mystery that they just don't understand. It's so weird. It's like they do find an attraction, or like a physical attraction, or even like a mental attraction for you, but it's not enough for them. It's not enough for them to dive. It's not enough for them to commit. There has to be more. This person, even though it's coming out as the Page of Boa, I feel like this person can be quite, I wouldn't say shy, but they keep to themselves. The people who they are surrounded by, the people that they are really close with, are people that they've known for their whole lives, are childhood friends, are their family. They're not really one to form connections with people they just meet or with strangers. Like, they're agreeable to strangers, but yeah, they're not one to really allow themselves to open up that easily. So this person wants to let you know they are intrigued by you. They are attracted. It doesn't mean that they don't like you. It doesn't mean that they're uninterested. They're actually very, very interested. But there is this hesitance. For some of you, it may be the case that this person might be involved with someone else at this moment. And so maybe right now is not the best time to commit to someone else, because I feel like they are loyal to their person. But again, like something pulls them towards you and they just can't seem to grasp or understand why, because I feel like they do hold feelings for the person they are currently in a relationship with. So if this is a connection, I feel like it will start very much like a friendship. It needs time. It needs to build. I know we have fire energy here, but I'm feeling very earth energy. It's a very slow movement, slow building relationship. I'm getting testing waters. They would want to get to know you better, to get to know you more slowly before they decide to open up to you. This is about the heart. This is heart messages. So even though your hearts are connected to each other, remember the heart is a very vulnerable place. They're not just vulnerable to anyone. They choose who to open up with. And I think the message here is they want you to respect that. If you can respect that, then we can start forming this connection in the 3D. Let me pull one message for you guys. Yeah, so we got connection. Yeah, so I feel like they're hesitant to connect, but they want you to know they do feel a connection to you. Whether they know what this, I don't feel like they know what this connection is. I don't feel like they know it's a connection from the heart space. They might even feel like some form of energy occurring in their chest area, but they don't, it's like they don't put one and one together. They just know that something pulls them to you, and they're trying to figure it out. So I feel like they will start approaching you slowly because of this curiosity, because of this mystery, because they really do want to know. And again, this will be slow building, but they are willing, because their curiosity is so strong, the pull is so strong, that they are willing to commit at some point, to dive into the waters, because they want to know where this will lead. But again, they need to get to know you first before they dive, before they jump, before they take that leap of faith. Okay? And I feel like you will get to be talking to them for a while. It may even take about, like, I'm seeing like about a year or so. And when you least expect it, maybe when you're about to give up on this, then all of a sudden they're ready to commit. Like out of a sudden they take that leap of faith. Then it's this Page of Bows energy that's very fast moving, very action orientated. And then I feel like from then the relationship starts progressing really, really fast, because we do have this waterfall energy, so it's falling deep. Yeah. So it starts slow, like kind of, I'm not even seeing it as teasing, but maybe if you would take it that way, it would be as teasing. And then all of a sudden, boom, when the fire ignites, it burns very, very brightly. Yes. Now let's see a message of what it is that you're currently manifesting in terms of your heart's desires. And we have the Six of Stones, exploitation. So the Six of Stones here is talking about working in community and working in union. Is respecting the ones that you are working with, right? Not exploiting them. It's not taking so much, right, that you run something dry. And it's finding balance in the exchange of giving and receiving. So because this is Pentacle energies, I feel like this is in terms of a job situation. I feel like this can also be in terms of relationship. And what you are currently manifesting is a balance. I'm seeing a lot of balance here. A balance of what you are giving and what you are receiving. At this moment, there feels like there is an imbalance. So much so that you see it play out in your physical reality. You might see it in your workspace, that you're working a lot and you're not receiving enough, right? Or if it's a independent business, you're putting a lot of effort, a lot of working hours, but you're not receiving anything in return. It might be finances, it might be acknowledgement. And maybe that is what you've been asking and praying, because I'm seeing these two individuals who are putting their cups forward, but they're looking up. So it feels like you've been praying for a change in terms of this. You've been praying for some financial revenue, or you've been praying for some acknowledgement, or you've been praying for some fairness, maybe in your job situation. I'm also seeing this because we have bees here in the background, the beehives, and I'm seeing the bees as representing inspiration and motivation. Maybe you've been feeling unmotivated. Maybe you haven't been inspired lately. If this is in terms of some creative projects, creative pursuits, creative arena, you haven't been able to receive a lot of inspiration. And maybe you've been praying for that because that's what your work needs. That's what your career requires. And so I'm feeling like that is what your heart's been craving for, and that is what you will be calling in, or what you are currently calling in. It's for fairness, for balance, for receptivity, as well as for motivation and inspiration. And I feel like the reason why you've been having such a struggle or difficulty, it's because your heart chakra might be blocked at this moment. Remember, the heart space is this feminine energy, and which is all about allowing oneself to receive. I also see the heart space as where we connect with our spirit, with our soul, and where we can receive all of this creative energy from. And so if that is blocked, that is why usually we feel unmotivated, because we are disconnected from our spirit, and we feel like we lack creativity or inspiration because we're also disconnected with that channel or that antenna that channels in all of these creative ideas. So your heart is currently calling in for a fairness, for a balance, and for an unblocking of its space, in order to be able to now receive all the work that you put into or towards something. But let me pull out one key word. Did one fall? Okay. Yeah, relationship. So I feel it's the relationship with your work or just the relationships in general that haven't been fair, that been imbalanced, and you're asking for a reciprocal relationship, for a balanced relationship, for something that you feel like you're not losing in, or you're giving too much of yourself, that you feel exploited, that you feel depleted or burned out. And I feel that that is what you're calling in at this moment. And I'm also just getting a lot of like creative ideas, because see how we see this tool that's broken, and I see this as imagination. Like at this moment, it feels like your imagination is blocked, and that affects a lot your relationship with your creative work, or with your creative self. And I feel like that's going to be mended or healed. But now let's pull on a message. Oh, our connection deserves more than a label. It deserves every expression. Okay, so it might be this, talking about this. Yeah, I feel like this is just describing the fact that they do not understand what this connection is, why they're just so pulled towards you. And again, I feel like they're not ready to commit at this moment or to label this connection. They more want to explore it, find out what it is, and get to know you better before they decide to label it or to commit. Okay, so that's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it resonated. If it did, again, please leave a like or comment. And if you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. If you're interested, all the information is in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next moment, bye-bye. Hello seekers who chose group 2. So the card we see here I will be using to intuitively connect with the energy of this group. And the message I received by just looking at the image is, forget what you do not know. Prisoner of doubt, you shall be no more. You know more than you think you know. Trust. All in due time, what is needed will show. So this message came through in the tone of a riddle or a rhyme, which I find pretty amusing. I'm actually getting such a very wise energy with this group. It feels very, very stern, like snapping your fingers at you, trying to get your attention. Because if not most of you, some of you are drifters, or you tend to drift off. I'm seeing spiraling down. You might be spiraling down in some cycle that is not very healthy for you. So it might be in terms of thinking, or it might be some form of routine. So some of you might be doubting something like the message says. And I feel like it might be doubting your self-worth, doubting if you're capable, doubting if you're talented enough. And whenever you start this thinking, it seems like it's so difficult to get you out of it. It's a spiraling down. And I actually see this owl here as being a spirit guide that comes through to tell you, hey, snap out of it, because it isn't true. Or if it's not that, I'm also seeing like you're questioning something. It might be in terms of a relationship, someone, your connection with someone, or a job situation, again, a career, if you're capable of this, if this is meant for you. And you start fretting is the word, like fretting so much about it that it's like your heart and your spirit guide, your spirit team is coming through constantly, encouraging you, motivating you, telling you, hey, you are worth it. Look, you're so capable. Look at what you've done. Look at what you do. Look at your talent. Look at your beauty, your inner and your outer beauty. And they're constantly giving you all of this validation and confirmation that you're on the right track, that you're doing well, that you are worth it, that you are enough. But it's like you don't hear, you don't listen. You're more inside of this dust cloud of insecurity and doubts. And it feels like at times you don't have the answer. It feels at times you don't know where you're heading, where you're at, where you're going. Like everything feels so unclear. Maybe it might be in terms of doubting your purpose, your life purpose, or the reason why you're even doing this job or this thing in the first place. And they just want you to know it's this insecurity that causes this doubt, because your heart is actually, I wouldn't say screaming out, but your heart is actually telling you otherwise. Your heart is actually telling you you're in the right place. You are doing so well. You're doing so well. You are worthy. You are enough. You are beautiful. And it's like, snap out of it. Please snap out of it. Get out of this dust cloud so that you can listen and so you can see the truth. It's kind of urgent in a way. Like your heart wants to get your attention, get you to pay attention to the truth, get you to listen to it, because where you are right now in your headspace, I'm just seeing a dust cloud around your head. It's not helping you. It's like it's clouding you completely. It's keeping you in fear. When in reality, you are okay. You are well. You are doing well, and you will be well. Okay, but let's look at the cards. So the first card is to give us a direct message from your heart. Yes. We have the Green Woman here, number 3. This is the Empress and the Rider-Waite's Tarot. Number 3 is a number of creation, creativity, and I'm also seeing it as manifestation. It's also the connection between the mind, the body, and the soul. We do have the wisdom here, and the wisdom or the owl talks a lot about the mind, logical thinking. But it feels like we were talking about that dust cloud, you've lost that sense of logical thinking, of seeing things clearly and seeing the reality of things, the truth. This being a direct message from your heart, I'm seeing this Green Woman as representing your higher self. This is a representation of your heart, of who you truly are at the core. The Empress, she is a creator, like I mentioned with the number 3. She is a great manifester. Here, the Green Woman, she reminds me of Mother Gaia. Mother Gaia gives life. She creates. There is no limit to her. She nurtures, she gives life, which is one of the most important and most magical things you can do. So I feel like your heart just wants you to know you are more than enough. You are powerful. You are a creator. What you put out there nurtures. What you put out there inspires. Not only yourself, but it inspires many others. You have the potential for so much more than you give yourself credit for. You are embodiment of life and creation. I'm being pulled to her robe here, which is the color red, and that's reminding me of root chakra. And the root chakra is about grounding, but I'm also seeing it as power, empowerment. Your heart wants you to know there is a need to empower yourself. I know we are human, and I know we all need that validation. Like if we're putting some creative art out there, we would love for people to give us positive feedback, to look at our creation, to be inspired by it. But what the Green Woman is telling you, the fact that you even created something, in it and of itself tells you how magical you are, how powerful you are. And if you keep looking for validation that you are talented enough outside of you, you are giving your power away, because it's waiting for somebody to tell you, hey, do this, before you do something, before you create. Imagine if Mother Gaia or Earth waited until somebody told it, hey, give life, hey, create a tree, give life to these flowers. Or if Mother Gaia took the commentary of people, that tree is ugly or those flowers are ugly, and never allowed herself to grow them again, how much would the world be missing out on? Because remember, the opinion of one person, 2 people, 5 people, 1,000 people is not a confirmation of a truth. It's just an opinion. Your heart is telling you, you have what it takes. You have what it takes. Do not stop creating. Do not give your crown away. Because you were born with the crown sitting on your head. You were born with that crown. You are queen. You are king. You're even like better than that, because you're the Empress here. You are Empress energy. And waiting for the approval of somebody else is giving your crown away. I'm also seeing beauty here. Seeing the beauty in your femininity. Embracing your feminine energy. Now, the feminine energy is all about nurturing. It's about feelings and emotions, allowing yourself to feel, not judging the emotions or the feelings that arise, but just letting them be. And it's also about finding the power in the vulnerability and being vulnerable. Being vulnerable is having the courage to express yourself without fearing judgment of others, or understanding that everybody is in a different place in their life and everybody has learned differently according to their own experiences, and their opinions or what they believe does not dictate whether you are in the wrong or you are in the right, or whether you're worthy or whether you're not. It's knowing that we are all different in terms of opinions, in terms of growth. We are all different. And if we hold ourselves to the expectations of others, we limit ourselves. So if you hold yourself to the expectation of someone who's at a completely different stage in their life, or who's going in a completely different direction from you, then what you're doing is you're misguiding yourself. You're not allowing yourself to grow to your fullest potential, which right here feels limitless and abundant. You have so much. It feels like you have so much creative energy. I keep thinking of potential. You're like a sycamore tree. You have the potential to grow so tall, but you're looking at the apple tree and you're thinking that that's the height you need to reach. That's the highest of the heights that you could possibly reach, when in reality you're the sycamore tree. You can grow even taller than that. You can reach the skies. I'm seeing comparison as well here in competition. I know some people say competition with the self is healthy, but not even that, because you're holding yourself to an expectation. Open yourself. Be open. Be so open that you don't limit yourself, so that you can grow. You can outstretch. Just like a tree, you can stretch your branches as farther as they may please. You are beautiful. You are enough. You are important. What you bring to the table, what you create, is inspiring, will inspire. Will it inspire every single person that you meet? Probably not. But out of that group, there will be people who you will change. You will help change their lives in some way. You will bring guidance. I'm seeing this here as well, like bringing guidance. If someone has told you that you're not enough or that you're too much, know that you are perfect. You are perfect just where you are right now. You are enough. Because where you are at this present moment is the highest that you can be. Because remember, the present moment is all that counts. Because the past is gone and the future hasn't been written yet. So where you are right now is the highest that you can be. So embrace it. Embrace it and live it fully. All that you are right now. Because you will never experience again the you that is right now. And there is beauty in every moment, in every version of you. There is beauty, there is magic, there is power. Okay, now a direct message from someone who is connected to you through the heart space. We have the Three of Bows, fulfillment. This card always confuses me for some reason. This is the Three of Wands in the Rider-Waite's Tarot. So I'm actually being pulled to these serpents here, how they're intertwined. And I always see the serpents, because there's two of them, different colors, as one representing masculine and the other representing feminine energies. Them intertwining creates a union, creates a balance between both of the energies. Since this is a message coming from someone who is connected to you through the heart space, I'm seeing as one of these serpents representing them and one of the others representing you. And since we have the green woman here, which is feminine energy, I feel you come off more as the feminine, right? We all hold feminine and masculine energy within us, but when we're in a partnership, in a relationship, one of us tends to embody more of one energy, and that is to balance the relationship off, right? Because there always needs to be a balance. So I'm feeling like in this connection, you represent more of the feminine energy. I heard this can go in one of two ways. Okay, I'm getting different messages here, but the first one that came up is, maybe that's why I got this can go in one of two ways, but for some of you, you might have been in a relationship, or you are currently in a relationship. And that's why I see one path here, right? And so the single path is representing the connection that you are in, or the connection that you were in. Both of you were walking on the same path. Now, at one point, right, it's not a fork in the road, but we got this split, right? So I'm seeing for some of you, you might have actually or are actually in separation at this moment. But if that is so, what they want you to know is we are always connected. Because we have that connection between our hearts, we are always intertwined in spirit. We needed to separate in this physical realm, in this physical 3D, because we each had a path we needed to walk on by ourselves. You needed to go this way and I needed to go that way. But know that is part of the journey. It is part of the journey we ourselves sketched before we incarnated into this life. Because I'm seeing this tree here. And trees always remind me of connection, of a home. And that's where this man is standing. So I'm seeing this as representing your union, your connection. That is growing. That will always be growing. That will always be true, that you are connected. But when you are separated in this physical 3D, know that even though you are separated, that does not mean that your souls are not in union. And this separation is not to cause pain, but it's to allow each of you to grow. And since we do have the Empress here, I feel that this moment is to allow yourself to see who you are through your own eyes and not through the eyes of your partner, right? Because I was feeling a lot of like putting yourself or holding yourself to the expectations of others. It's seeing yourself through the eyes of others and judging yourself based on how they see you, right? Maybe you put your self-worth on in terms of this connection or how your partner viewed you. And it was time now to walk your own path independently, to get to know yourself better, to see yourself through your own eyes, especially through your own heart, and connect with that, connecting with your heart. The heart space is all about authenticity. It's all about being genuine, being vulnerable with yourself, connecting with your true essence, who you are. And it is time for you to remember that you are this Empress. Whether you stand alone or whether you stand with somebody else, you will always be this Empress. And I feel like if I had a card to represent them, they would be the Emperor. Because now it's their time as well to find out who they truly are, to remember their true essence. If you are currently in a relationship, I am sensing a separation. Now, doesn't mean like you will break up with your partner, or if you're married, you will get divorced. This can be just a gap where you each go on your own journey. So it could be a time of relaxation, possibly, to gain a moment of solitude. And it is very, very necessary, because when we're intertwined so much, so connected, we kind of merge, right, in a way, and we can get lost in the other person easily, right? That we forget we are an independent and whole individual within ourselves. And this oneness is very important in terms of the spirit, right? Is feeling oneness with all. But because we live in this physical 3D world, remembering and appreciating our individuality, I feel, is very important, right? Because if we were divided at some point, to be incarnated in this life is for a purpose. It's for a reason. It's because we as individuals are meant to learn something different, are meant to experience different experiences. And if we deprive ourselves of that, then it's kind of invalidating the point of even incarnating in this life. I hope I make sense. So it's reminding yourself you are independent and whole on your own. This other person does not make you whole. And is learning more about yourself. And it's also because I feel like you just have experiences that you need to experience separate from each other, because they're different, completely different experiences. Like their experiences might not be relevant to you at all, and yours will not be relevant to them. So you need to traverse your own journeys. And then once you do that, I feel like there is a merging again, because I feel like you see how these snakes are intertwining like this, like they separate for a moment and then they merge again, and then they separate. And I feel like that's the roads as well here. Like they separate and then they merge, they separate and then they merge. And again, it's only because there are moments in your timeline where you're meant to experience something individually. And then I feel like you come together to bring those experiences into each other's lives. Or to experience something together. to grow together. And if you're single, I feel like pretty soon you will be meeting this person you feel connected to through the heart space. I feel like you energetically already feel this person or know this person, like you just know their essence and their energy. And at this moment, you're walking in this split road, right? But soon I feel like you will be merging again. You will be merging and connecting again in this life. And remember, I feel like this is already written. Meeting this person is already written because we have this smoke here, and this is represented in one of the cards here, which is the breath of life, which is the Ace of Arrows, which speaks of new beginnings, but also speaks of guidance. So I see this as being guided by the universe. I'm seeing this as something, as like you wrote this journey. You wrote how this was going to play out before you even incarnated. So this meeting was already planned out before you even incarnated. But even though you're separate at this moment, know that your hearts, your spirits are already in union, I feel. It's just that in this physical reality, it's taking a bit of time for you guys to meet. But I feel like you will be meeting them soon. And we have 3 of bows here. So this is the 3 of wands. This is fire energy. This is quick energy. And we also have fire here. And then we have manifestation. If you have been calling this person in, if you've been trying to manifest this person, I feel like we have 3-3. Oh, I really noticed the number 3 being repeated here. So I feel like this person might come into your life, or you might come into contact with this person within 3 months. I feel like 3 months, 3 weeks might be it too, but it feels like more like 3 months. So they just want you to know we are connected. We will be meeting soon. And if you are already in a relationship or you separated, know that you will meet again. If you are currently in separation, meaning you were once with this person but you separated, when you meet again, it is not guaranteed that you will reform a romantic connection. You will simply meet again with this person. How this relationship will unfold by then is not very clear. You might get together again, you might be friends, you might be acquaintances, you might just be teacher, student, teacher. It might be different for every one of you. And then the other is like, if you feel you're okay in your relationship at this moment, I feel like this is just a gap period, like a little mini vacation that you will each take. And it's very much needed. So if your partner asks you for that, like, hey, I want to go on this trip alone, allow that because I feel like you need it as well. Like secretly, you also need kind of this break. And it's very, very crucial because it's your spirit, your heart calling out for that, because there's something that you need to learn independently. So the other card is, what are you currently manifesting in terms of your heart's desire? Ooh, and we have the 2 of Arrows in Justice in reverse. So it being in reverse is very, very crucial because this is an energy that we are leaving now. So the 2 of Arrows upright, I see it as a doubt. We were talking about doubt before. I see it as not being able to make up your mind, as kind of keeping yourself back. And it's keeping yourself back because you don't believe you can move forward, either because you believe you don't have it in you, you don't have what it takes to take the next step. But in reverse, I see like finally you taking off the blindfold that we have here. Finally you using the bow and the arrows, meaning the tools that you already have to start creating your life. Because I always see the bow in this deck representing as your purpose, representing your determination and focus, and the arrow representing your intention, your energy, the action. And finally, it seems like I'm seeing these arrows also as like ideas. You have creative ideas, you have desires, passions, but you keep them close to your heart, or you have been keeping them close to your heart because you're scared of letting them go. You're scared of putting them in motion, of grabbing your bow and actually, shooting and aiming at your target and releasing that arrow because you're scared of, what if I miss? What if I fail? What if I finally do this and I find out that I never had it in me? I never had the talent. I was never good enough. I'd rather keep this to myself and imagine and contemplate that maybe I am good enough, but since I haven't tried, I can't be guaranteed. You rather keep yourself in that doubt than actually try. But I feel like you're coming out of it now because we have this Empress energy here. This is in your heart space. You cannot silence and calm this fire because this is you. You have so much creative energy. There's so much potential. It's like the seed that is waiting to sprout, but with this energy, you've been pushing it down. You've been pushing that tree from growing. But it's meant to grow. It's meant to bloom. So it's gonna bloom either way. Right? So it's this fire that's finally being released, that's finally emerging, and it's pushing you to move forward. I am sensing this as a form of inspiration. Like this is what your heart is calling in at this moment. It feels like forward movement. It feels like motivation. It feels like, what's it called? Inspired action. We do have injustice here. I'm not really seeing it in terms of legality. But if you have been calling for that, if you have been calling for something to be set right, yeah, for justice to come through, this is telling me this will be given to you. Because again, we have the injustice energy in reverse. So justice will finally prevail. The truth will finally be revealed. And that was the message we got with the wisdom. Right? It said, all in due time, what is needed will show. So if a truth had been hidden, if the truth wasn't shown, it was because it was not the right time. Because if it was shown too early, it wouldn't have served its purpose. There wouldn't have been justice. So it's showing up now because now justice can be served. That's what I'm seeing here. So that is what I feel you guys are calling. But let me pull a keyword in terms of this one. So we have a relationship. I feel this can represent relationship with yourself. You being unjust with yourself. Yeah, there's an injustice. There being so much potential, so much beauty in somebody, but another person shutting them down. And it's like the relationship you hold with yourself. Like there is so much wonder in you, but you don't allow that to show. You just shut yourself down. You don't even give yourself the opportunity or the chance. And so this dynamic is changing now, where there's a fair balance now, where justice is served, where the truth, the beauty is finally seen and recognized, and it is allowed to be shown. It is allowed to prevail. It is allowed to do its thing. And if not, this can be in terms of a relationship with somebody else that you felt an injustice with, and then finally, we're seeing justice will prevail here. Okay? Let me just, I feel like pulling stars. Okay, so we have the number 9. And we have Aries energy. I'm not sure. Is Aries in March? Is that when the Aries season? So March might be pretty significant for you guys. And then we have the number 9 here. Yeah, so Aries energy might be significant. The number 9 might be also significant. Like on the 9th day might be important. Or that might be like an important appointment. Yeah, but now let's pull a message for you guys. 2, 3, 4. We have 2. You see, you are doing such a beautiful job. You are doing such a beautiful job. This is validation. And the other one is soon. Yeah. So yes, I feel like you will be meeting this person soon. This is also representing like if you've been questioning when you're going to meet this person, because I feel like you already know them energetically and you feel like you've been blinded. You feel like you haven't been shown who it is, like the truth of who this is has been kept from you, because we do have relationships here. We have soon to let you know. Soon this will be revealed to you. Soon you will feel like you can finally move forward in terms of this relationship. You can actually take action now. Yeah, so that's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it resonated, brought some clarity, some guidance. If it did, please leave a like or a comment. And if you want to stick around for more readings with me, then do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in the description box down below. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. And until the next moment, bye-bye. Hello group 3. So the card we are seeing here, I will be using to intuitively connect with the energy of this group. So just by looking at the image of the card, this is the message I received. You are the warmth. You hold me and I know you. I feel you even when you aren't near. You are not alone. I will not abandon you. I love you always. Now I know that may sound like a little weird message, but that is what I automatically wrote when looking at the image of this group. And I am feeling like pain in my heart space. I keep getting this image of, like it's represented here, holding yourself, as in holding your inner child. It is time to connect with that inner child. It is time to acknowledge that you are still that child that needs love, that needs safety, that needs compassion, that needs a warm embrace. And if you can't find someone to give it to you, then allow yourself to give that love to yourself. Because I feel like that inner child did not receive it when it was its time. So right now it feels like it's in need of that love and that comfort. I'm seeing it as it being here encased in this little cocoon. And I'm seeing this as, it looks like an adult, right? So it's like you're a child in the body of an adult. And that can represent an emotional immaturity, meaning sometimes when we experience some form of neglect, trauma, now it doesn't have to be something completely horrendous. It could just be you weren't acknowledged when you asked for a hug, or when you were crying, no one came and picked you up, right, and cradled you. And maybe you felt neglect, you felt the abandonment. And when we have those experiences that cause an intense reaction within us, like a trauma, an emotional trauma, we tend to keep ourselves in that stage of our life, so in that age. Because there's something that we need to address that we're not addressing, right? So we keep stuck there. Because our body, our mind, our heart is telling us, nope, we can't move forward until we address this. We keep replaying and replaying and replaying it. And so we keep stuck there. And so what happens is we continue growing, right? Our body continues evolving. But our emotional self keeps at that stage, keeps at that age. So we grow to be a child in an adult body. So I feel like your heart is asking you to acknowledge the pain that you hold. Acknowledge if you have ever felt abandoned, if you have ever felt neglected, if you ever felt hurt. It is time to acknowledge that pain. Because once we do, then it can be released, it can be healed. Because usually all that pain wants is to be acknowledged. And once it is, then it can finally feel free, liberated, because I'm seeing a need for liberation here. And once we do that, once we start addressing the root problems of maybe why we react always in a certain way in terms of a certain situation, or maybe we ask ourselves, why haven't my relationships worked? Why do I always attract the same people? There always is a root cause to it. And once we address that, once we look back, maybe it wasn't just your parents, maybe it was in school, something happened. And remember, it doesn't have to be something drastic and dramatic. It could be something that sometimes we deem as simple, like you raising up your hand in class and your teacher ignoring you, right? That causes a reaction within us. It may feel like we're not seen. And it's just simply addressing that, going way, way back. And once we address it, once we let ourselves even cry about it or be angry about it, then we can move on from that period. We can move on from that scene. And then move on to the next and to the next and to the next until we're finally at the present moment. Okay? So that's what I'm seeing here. But the first card I'm going to pull is a direct message from your heart space. We have the Two of Vessels, attraction. This is the Two of Cups in the Rider-Waite's Tarot. So this Two of Vessels speaks to me about alchemy. And I love it because we have the heart being represented here. And this is a direct message from your heart space. This for me signifies the sacred heart. And we have two figures here. This represents divine feminine energy and this represents divine masculine energy. Feminine is all about emotions and feelings. It's about vulnerability. It's about allowing oneself to receive. And it's about holding no judgment. Like we mentioned before, it's about allowing yourself to feel your emotions and not judging them. And once we do, we allow this flow. We have water represented here. Vessel, cup energy is all about the feelings. It's about the heart. It's about emotions. And we have this beautiful fluidity here, this beautiful flow. And that represents allowing your emotions to flow, not getting stuck, right, in something, because maybe it causes us too much pain to feel it, that we hold it in. So when we hold it in, we wouldn't have this flow. We wouldn't be able to fill our own cup, because I'm seeing this as being able to fill your own cup. And what that represents is being able to feel happy within yourself, being able to fill yourself emotionally without having somebody else outside of you do it for you. That's why I was saying, if you can't find somebody to give you that love, give it to yourself. Who is the person that is with you 24/7? It is you. The most important relationship you will ever have in this 3D, in this physical reality, is the relationship you have with yourself. And I know some people get so frustrated hearing about self-love, but if you really think about it from a logical perspective, the one that you have to put up with 24/7 is you. So why wouldn't you want to have a good relationship with the only individual that you have to live with every single second in this lifetime? How you talk to yourself, how you treat your body, it's the same thing as having somebody else doing that to you. Especially because you do have this child that still exists within you. It's like talking bad to that child within you. It's kind of validating all of the horrible things that maybe somebody else told you when you were a kid. Instead of saying, hey, that isn't true. You are worthy of love. You are lovable. You are loving, and you are beautiful. Giving that love to the child that was refused to it before. And then we have masculine energy, which is all about action. It's putting things in motion. It's about this physical 3D. I also see it as passion. I'm also seeing like parental figures here. I'm seeing this masculine energy as allowing yourself to be. Allowing yourself to be who you are without holding back. Because we have a hold here. This is holding yourself back. It can be, again, because of fears, insecurities. Because of not knowing what will happen if you just let yourself be. And it's the same thing when the masculine energy doesn't acknowledge the emotions, doesn't connect with the feminine energy, because we all hold both masculine and feminine energies within us, then what happens is there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of resentment, there's a lot of drastic action, excessive movement and action, but without purpose. It's just doing to do without reason. But when there's connection with the emotions, with the heart, because that's the heart here at the center. And I love it how we have this diamond here, because that's two triangles, right? The triangle facing upwards represents masculine energy. The triangle facing downwards represents feminine energy, right? We have those two coming together here, and in the center is the heart. So when those are balanced, those two energies, then the heart can fully function. Then the heart space can fully open. And there's so much passionate energy here. There's so much, I see this fire as representing life, beauty in life. And this is speaking to me about relationships as well. So if you have been questioning why your relationships do not work or have never worked, or why you keep attracting the same people that hurt you, or why you can't feel like you can connect with somebody, this is telling you it's because there's this disconnection with yourself. It's because your inner child is encased in this little cocoon, right? And that is a part of you. That is a part of you. So there's this part of you that is kind of separate from you. And in order for you to feel completion and wholeness, you need to reconnect with this part of you. Because once you do, you will be able to find this fluidity, right? You will be able to open to your heart space. And you will be able to finally form the primary relationship, which is with yourself. Once you do, then you will be able to form connections with other people. Because once you form the primary relationship with yourself, what you're doing is you're able to fill your own cup. So knowing that you can fill your own cup, then now you know that you're abundant emotionally to be able to give to another cup. And not even give to another cup. It's to create alchemy with somebody else. It's that when you connect, you're completely open, that you are able to flow into the energy of the other person, and the other person's able to flow into your energy, and you're able to fill each other's cups without any limitation, without any worry that any of these cups will ever be empty. Let me pull a keyword for you guys. That's the one that fell out. So we have relationship. Yes, this is a relationship with self. This is about just relationships in general. How you perceive them, how you work with them. You are loving. If you question that, you are loving and you have love within you. And you have someone who can share this love with you. But first, share it with yourself. Share it with yourself before you give it away to anybody else. Because you need it. This kid that exists within you needs it. Do not abandon it. Because you will continue experiencing that feeling of abandonment if you continue ignoring this injury, this hurt, this child that is begging for it to be held, for it to be loved. And sometimes when we don't heal that, that's how it manifests into our real life. That's when we feel like we keep being abandoned by our partners, by friends, by relationships, even by our work, because we haven't healed this abandonment that exists within the self. Okay? So the next card is a direct message from someone that you are connected with through the heart space. We have the King of Stones, Wolf. So this is the King of Pentacles in the Rider-Waite's Tarot. And the wolf here is screaming of longing, of yearning, of feeling alone. Remember, there's a difference between solitude and loneliness. And this is loneliness because we know that the wolf travels in pack. And this is a lone wolf here. And so I feel him calling out to his pack because he's been separated from his pack, from his family, from his tribe. And then we have the full moon energy here, which is the full moon is connected to that feminine energy. It's again about emotions, about feelings. I feel like such yearning, such like a wrenched feeling in the heart space, and it's through the howl that the wolf is able to express it. And so this is saying, go to your innermost wild self and letting that feeling of sadness, of longing just come out through a good cry. And because this is the message from someone who is connected with you at the heart space, I feel like this is a feeling, an emotion, a pain that you both are experiencing, right? Because this is a connect at the heart space. So your hearts are very, 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 very similar. What you're feeling, I feel like this person feels as well. What you're going through in terms of emotional experiences, this person is experiencing as well. And it feels like at this moment, both of you are in this winter season, winter state, which is about feeling melancholic, which is about feeling sadness, even depressed. But I'm getting more of a yearning and a longing, feeling alone, feeling loneliness. But I feel like this person is telling you, I'm allowing myself to feel into it now. Before, they held back. But now I'm allowing myself to be with my emotions, to cry when I need to cry, to scream when I need to scream. And in that, I find so much release and relief. And it's like I feel like they're coming through to recommend that you do the same. And because we do have the Two of Vessels, I keep going back to this card. I feel like you are so connected that when this person goes through some sense of healing, when they allow themselves to release, it helps you release as well. Because again, I'm getting alchemy here. Two people creating alchemy, like a natural flow between two individuals. So if at times, all of a sudden you feel like crying, or you feel this pain in your chest and your heart space, and it's not, it's not a medical condition or anything like that. it's more like an energy, then I feel it's because this person is releasing at that time. So when they release, it kind of forces you to release as well. Even if you are not expecting it or wanting it to happen, it kind of like this other person allows for the flow to occur. So again, if they allow their emotions to rise, right, it will have to go through you as well. So you feel that as well before it is released. Can you see that like image here? And you do the same. So when you go through something, it passes through them as well, and then it is released. So it would very much help. Like I feel like this healing can go faster if you also allow yourself to feel through your emotions, to feel through the pain. Because remember, what's that saying? Once you're in hell, the only way out is through. And it's the same thing. Like if you've been feeling so much pain to the point that it's now become numb and you're wondering when will this end, the only ending will be when you allow yourself to finally feel it. Because if you don't, if you push it away, what you're doing is you're kind of staying in the middle of, hell, or in the middle of a tunnel. You're not allowing yourself to move forward. So the only way out is through. And King of Stones is a very slow energy. But it's the king, so it's an energy that's perseverant. It's determined. So it's slow. It's a slow-moving process, but they are determined to come out of this. They are determined to go through with this. So this person, it feels like they're on a healing journey, but they are determined to go through this healing journey. I'm even seeing like maybe they're even going to therapy, and they're determined to go through this, to finish this, to get better. They're determined to get better, to feel better, to reconnect with themselves. And it feels like they just want to motivate you and tell you, maybe that was the message. You are not alone. Yeah. You are not alone. They want to tell you you are not alone. You are not going through this by yourself. I am here with you. Let me reread the message I got intuitively. It says, because it makes more sense now. You are the warmth. We have winter here. You hold me and I know you. Right? Hold, and then we have two people here that are so connected. They create alchemy. You hold me and I know you. When we connect is when I'm able to see you, to know you. I feel you even when you aren't near. You are not alone. I will not abandon you. I love you always. You have someone that's always with you, that's always connected with you through the heart space. And I feel like for most of you, you haven't met this person. You haven't met this person. I don't even think you know who it is. But they're coming here to tell you that they exist, that they're here with you, that they feel you. They feel your pain and they're going through it as well. And they are committed and they are determined to make it through this winter. So they will not abandon you, and they're asking you to not abandon them. And you're asking, how will I abandon them if I don't even know them? It's do not abandon yourself. Do not abandon this child that exists within you. Because remember, you are connected, right? So they feel what you feel. If there's still abandonment within you, they will feel that as well. So you heal together. Let me pull out a message. The one here. Health. Yeah, I'm feeling like this could be this can also be related in terms of physical health. Maybe you're going through some physical or health journey in terms of your body. And they want to tell you they're going through it as well. And it's rigorous. It feels like it's something rigorous because we do have winter here. But they're determined to push through. They're determined to get better. I keep getting that. Determined to get better. This can pertain to mental health, emotional health, whatever it may be. You're on this journey of healing together. Okay? So you're not alone. I feel like pulling one star for you guys. Nothing? Okay. So we have the letter A and we have the number 9. I'll just leave them here for you guys. And the last card is what you're manifesting in terms of your heart's desires. So we have the 4 of Arrows. This is the 4 of Swords in the Rider-Waite's Tarot, and we do have rest here. So I'm seeing this as healing and recuperation. And I'm seeing this as like healing the body, but I'm also seeing as healing the mind and the soul. I love it because I always see this and I see it representing astral traveling or astral projecting. But I'm also seeing this butterfly here as representing inner child energy, imagination. right? Because when we sleep is when we allow our subconscious mind to just, because the moon represents subconscious as well, to just be fully open. There's no limit to it. What comes through in our dreams sometimes gives us a lot of information of some emotional repressions or traumas, because we do a lot of healing through the dream state. A lot of healing. So sometimes that's why we have terrible nightmares or horrible dreams that disturb us, but it's because our mind is processing these things that we are suppressing. And since we're suppressing it so much, we're holding it back, the only way that it can come out is through the dream, when we're no longer conscious enough to actively suppress this. Okay, because I'm seeing the arrows, how they're like dug here on the earth, and arrows represent thoughts, the mind. And so right here, the mind, the thoughts don't rule anymore, right? So the subconscious mind can be liberated, can be free. So this is talking about transformation and healing. So I'm seeing this as healing the mind, and also going back to that child essence, to that innocence, that your mind is no longer influenced by hurt and pain, but it's actually so free now that it can think about beautiful thoughts without fear of there being anything bad to harm it, if that makes sense. And I'm seeing how this man is right at the edge. Right at the edge. So I get this idea of not fearing the edge anymore, not feeling like you're going to fall, not feeling like you don't have control of yourself enough that if you reach the edge, you might throw yourself or you might fall. It's like knowing, being so secure in yourself that you could be here and sleep right at the edge, knowing that you will never fall, knowing that you'll be okay. It's like a carelessness, but a carelessness that comes with trust. So I feel that is what your heart is calling for: peace, for health, for safety and trust with self. And it feels like finally like a peace of mind, inner peace and beauty. Healing, growing, transforming. Okay, let me pull one word for you guys. Okay, that was too many. Just want one. Okay, thank you. Ascend. Beautiful. Yes, ascension. That's what your heart wants. It wants to ascend. And I'm seeing that with the butterfly ascending, moving forward from this, growing. We're talking about growing, transforming. I'm seeing ascending also as in spiritual journey of like, I don't know why I keep thinking of it like astral traveling, ascending. It's just letting your spirit be liberated and free, finally, because it's been held back for so long. Okay, so A might represent the letter or the initial of this person, might be part of their name. 9 might be like maybe their birth month, birthday. That's what I'm seeing it as. I feel like this is just here to serve as some form of confirmation or validation for you. So maybe this might be representing your name, your birthday, birth month, something significant for you. Okay, so now let me pull a message here. Always. I keep feeling my heart beating. It says whenever you're ready. Yeah, I feel like this is in terms of your healing journey. Whenever you're ready, we can begin this healing process. You are doing such a beautiful job. Yes, you are. The healing journey is not easy. It's not. And it feels like it's eternal. And I feel like we're always healing. In a life, we're constantly always healing because we're constantly evolving and growing. And the last message is, oh, what you did to my heart was sheer inexplicable magic. And this is from the book Flipped by Wendelin van Draenen. Yeah, what you did to my heart was sheer inexplicable magic. I feel like you're on this healing journey together with this person. And when you heal, they heal. And it's just like, I feel like you give each other company and comfort. When you just allow yourself to feel into your heart space and you feel this loving energy, it's coming from you, but I feel like it's also coming from this person. And you also help them feel not alone. Okay? You're here for each other. So that's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next moment, bye bye.